I got so much joy, as you can imagine, because of the nature of this documentary about these 11 people who are now deceased. It was an emotional roller coaster as we delved deep into their histories and so on and so forth, and really evoked a lot of emotion from the people we interviewed. There were tears, but there were a lot of laughs. There was a lot of joy. I think people were really excited to be able to talk about these folks again. The name of the film is Gone Too Soon: The Life, Legacy, and Loss of Newark's Cultural Icons. And in general, the film is about 11 cultural creatives, historians, who, in my view, changed the landscape of Newark during the time they were here. Movers and shakers doesn't even describe them from my perspective. Individuals such as historian Dr. Clement Price, who made a major impact on the Rutgers University Newark campus for decades, and fellow historian Dr. Robert Curvin. See, a lot of people might know Dr. Price and not know Dr. Kirvin, who was a graduate of Rutgers Newark, as am I. But what an important role he played. So it's people of that ilk who, from my point of view, died much too soon before they had the opportunity to really see Newark evolve and grow into the cultural city that it is and still can become. You know what? I first got the idea to do a documentary in 2018. During that period, and still now, I was involved with an organization called Women in Media Newark. And we host an annual International Women's Film Festival. We've brought in filmmakers from various parts of the world, believe it or not, and films from various parts of the world, either by or about women of all ethnicities and cultural backgrounds. So I've been involved with them to date, I would say about 12 years, but back in 2018, the Women in Media Newark, screened a documentary by the jazz bassist Mimi Jones. And she did a one-on-one documentary on the fabulous pianist, jazz pianist, Bertha Hope. And I just loved it. We screened it at WBGO appropriately. And I said, I can do that, you know. And by early 2019, I was ready to go. But interestingly, I still didn't know specifically what was going to be the theme of my documentary. I just knew I wanted to do a documentary. By early 2019, I believe it was, I wrote a post on social media about all of these people who were gone too soon. The Jerry Gants, the Russell Murrays, the Halim Sulimans, and whatnot. And so many people weighed in on that post. And they said, yeah, don't forget about so-and-so, and don't forget about so-and-so. And so, believe it or not, it all kind of came together from that post. And I realized that other people in our community felt as I did, that these people were gone too soon and that they left a legacy and that we cannot forget them. That was the impetus of this documentary. Those two things, being involved in Women in Media Newark and then seeing how others felt the way I did. We loosely look at a 15-year period. All of these people that are highlighted in the documentary died within a 15-year period. And And it was a lot. It was a lot to lose the people of that caliber in that period of time. I think the importance of my documentary is to make sure, because Newark is continually growing and evolving. I mean, because we've got a whole new crop of artists who were not around. Maybe they were very, very young, you know, as I was coming up in the field of arts administration, and they've just suddenly blossomed and emerged, or emerged and blossomed. But a lot of those younger artists don't know who these folks that are highlighted in Gone Too Soon. They don't know who they are. And they've got to know who they are, because they got to know that they laid the groundwork for what is now the cultural community. They got to know that. And not that these people were specifically or particularly famous. They were doing their work quietly and in their, you know, in their own alcoves and in their own domains. But nonetheless, they influenced a broad spectrum of individuals. Somebody like Halim Suliman, whose main stomping ground was Arts High School, but nonetheless, the people that came out of Arts High School who were under his tutelage, what they've gone on to do and accomplish. So our people that are, you know, their names may not be recognized in every household, but it is my job, or I felt it my job, to paint a picture, a portrait of each of these individuals so people know who they are. And film, I believe, is gonna last forever. And that's why we made an effort to make everything historically correct, to get the right people to interview about our honorees, and to make it beautiful, the film beautiful and attractive, educational, and informative. So it is, from my perspective, a piece of history. And I hope, you know, as many people as possible, we want to get it into the schools as well, get a chance to see it so people know who these people are. That's just Newarkers. There's other people who come to Newark, who are moving to Newark, who are developing in Newark. They too, you know, if they want to do research about the city that they're coming into, let this piece be one of the sources that they go to so that they can see. Because what happens in a community like ours and other communities, and this was another inspiration for my documentary because I saw it with my own eyes. What happens is new people come into our community, new arts administrators or whomever, developers, whatever, and they think that they brought arts and culture with them. I saw it happening with my own eyes. And so that was the other charge of my documentary, was to let people know, no, this already existed, and these wonderful individuals are part of why you have a nice city to come to and build and settle in and so on and so forth, because these people existed.